I'm going to be honest, guys, it's been a very difficult and kind of stressful week for me and the missus, so I apologise in advance if I'm not, proper, all over it with this episode, but I'm going to try and be as normal as I possibly can with it, but I do apologise. Hi guys, welcome to Bird's Eye View, and this is going to be my spoiler review for episode 6 of season 2 of The Mandalorian. Before we begin, don't forget to like and comment down below, subscribe and ring the bell to be notified whenever I do videos. I do them every single week, so make sure you keep a lookout for those. Spoilers all the way through this one, of course. I'm talking all the way through the episode, so make sure you check it out before you check out my review. Spoilers all the way through, you've been warned. The tragedy, that sucked. Seeing that title come up, I was like, oh god, something really bad's gonna happen here. And it did. It really did. They really kind of got us hooked in straight away with this kind of lovely moment that the two of them had in the ship, again using the Force and everything. And you can really say how attached Mando is to Grogu. So, and then having that title come up, the tragedy straight after, is like, right, so something really bad's happening now. They get to Tython, he puts him on the Seeing Stone, and it doesn't look like it's working, but then suddenly it starts to work, and he can't penetrate the force field that Grogu has made when he's trying to make that connection to the Force, and it does last quite a while. He tries a few times to get to him, and he just can't. Then he sees a ship come in, which was Slave One, which was Boba Fett's ship. Coming in, I was like, oh my god, Boba Fett, we're actually going to see more Fett, this is awesome. The only thing I will say about the Boba Fett thing, and I'm not trying to diss on it because everything that I saw in this episode I did really, really like, was what I said previously in the first episode, that I didn't want Boba Fett to just randomly pop up out of nowhere, because it's like, well, if he's in a Sarlacc pit and he's popped out and he has on his armour and all this kind of stuff, I wasn't even aware that he still had Slave One or anything like that, so why has he been around Tatooine all this time and then suddenly decides, oh, I'm just going to bugger off now and go over here because my armor's over here? It seemed a bit weird. I thought we would be going back to Tatooine in order for it to make a little bit of sense. So for me, that was a little bit meh, but I'm kind of going to let it slide a little bit because of how awesome they showcased Boba Fett in this episode. What's her face? What, I can't remember her bloody name. It looked like she died in last season. Out in Tatooine, I can't remember her name, but now she's a sharpshooter for Boba Fett because he saved her life and kind of put mechanics in her chest and everything to keep her alive. So they're kind of a team now, which is pretty cool. They have this standoff with Mando and everything, putting down guns and armour and the jetpack and everything. They come up with a deal, basically saying, I'll give you the armour if you make sure you protect the child and make sure he's not harmed. Then it kind of all goes south really, really quickly. Oh my god, just two ships coming down, loads of stormtroopers. Mando's trying to get hold of the child, can't do it. These other two are trying to take down all these stormtroopers, doing it pretty awesomely. It's a lot of fun seeing all that kind of stormtroopers getting absolutely annihilated by these two. Boba Fett is brutal. Before he gets his armor back later in the episode, which I'll touch on as well. But the bit before that, when he's just in his regular gear with some of the Tusken Raider stuff and his guns and that, he is brutal with that kind of mace. It just absolutely annihilates these stormtroopers. It is awesome to see how cool he is, because in the original trilogy, we don't really see much of him. That's why we like him so much, because he's such a mysterious character. We don't get much of him. We get him standing around and saying a couple of words, and a little bit of offense in Return of the Jedi, and then, we know how that goes. So to see him just absolutely owning it like a beast with these stormtroopers, it was really good to see. So yeah, he does get his armour back, because you see him just clock the Razor Crest. You're like, well, we know what's going on here. So What's-Her-Face is still pinned down. She's trying her best to get Gatling guns out and rocket launchers, all this kind of stuff, and she's really, really struggling. She gets a boulder, kind of very Indiana Jones moment, as it rolls down and takes a few people out. All the while, Mando's still trying his best to get to Grogu. He just can't, so he goes, right, I'm going to have to leave you, kid, and help these guys out. Please don't go anywhere. The second he leaves, Grogu's shield disappears completely and he's absolutely knackered. It's like, oh god, I can see where this is going. So Mando starts helping him out. It's a lot of fun to see them kind of teaming up and everything. That's real good fun. And then it looks like they're pinned down and Boba Fett kicks in with his armour, just absolutely again, just annihilating them, being awesome. He looks absolutely hench compared to what he was in the original trilogy. He just looks so cool. I mean, it's a little bit different to what he looks like normally, but he just looks really, really cool. Taking out all these guys, then they retreat. As the ships take off, he fires off his rocket launcher and takes them both out. The thing that this is the thing that shocked me the most out of this episode, because I genuinely didn't see this happening at all. The Razor Crest being destroyed, just obliterated by a missile from the light cruiser, straight down, bang! I was in shock. I was like, I can't believe his ship's gone. It's like the staple of who he is as a person. It's the same thing with Boba Fett and Slave One, with Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon, Luke with his X-Wing. It's like, this is their ship. You see that obliterated. Oh, that sucked. So obviously we know where it's going. Grogu gets captured, and it's the Death Troopers, or the Doom. I can't remember what troopers they are. They're the things that we saw in the previous episode. They're kind of like cyborg kind of trooper, death trooper type things. They all get down there. They can't get to him in time. Just as they get to the top of the ridge, they pick him up and take him off. He's too knackered to fight back. They can't get to him. So Boba Fett goes up to take him on, and they obviously can't shoot him down because the kid's there. So the kid gets away, and Boba Fett sweeps back down to go down, and the light cruiser just takes off into hyperspace. Grogu's been captured, and I mean, I'm looking forward to like the last couple of episodes to kind of getting him back and everything, but it just sucks that we're at that point where he's been taken. One thing to quickly mention, which I don't know whether other people will mention this, is that because of all the mayhem that's going on in this episode, you don't really get time to kind of think about it, but I thought about it afterwards, and that the whole Seeing Stone thing, him reaching out in the Force for a Jedi, it worked, it happened, the whole thing happened, but obviously he was taken away so quickly, it was just like, well, we don't have time to talk about it or really kind of react to it. So will a Jedi appear at the end of this season? Or maybe they'll push it into the next season, I don't know, but as far as we know, that worked. So some Jedi is going to feel that presence and come searching for him. So it's good that we know that it's worked, so that gives you more little tidbits of a Jedi will come. It was a really sad moment as well of him just in the wreckage and the other two just looking on. And the two things he finds is the ball that he's been training Grogu with, and then obviously the Beskar steel spear. And it just sucks to see it. There's just nothing left, and it really is sad. And then he comes up and has a conversation with Boba Fett and the other girl, and just and a really nice moment actually to kind of basically, they just said, look, the deal's not over. We said that we would make sure the child is not harmed, so we're with you. We're going to stick with you and make sure that you get him back. And that's really cool. So obviously now we're sticking with Slave One and everything. It looks like they're all kind of teaming up and that's really interesting. By the looks of it, it's going to be a bit more of a bigger team as well. He goes back to Navarro, talks to Cara Dune, and it looks like we're getting Bill Burr's character back, and they're going to spring him, so that looks like the next episode maybe. Get him out so they can help as well. It's all about building up this team by the looks of it so they can go and get Grogu back, and that's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how many people we can all kind of get together in a room. Maybe even Bo-Katan as well. I'd like that. Just to get them all together to get Grogu back. That would be cool. The final moments as well, it was nerve-wracking because it was Grogu obviously in his prison cell, but he was using the Force against all these troopers and everything. That was a lot of fun to see, but it wears him out, and Gideon comes in and everything. You can see that he gets tired. He shows him the Darksaber, and I was like, just that little moment, I don't. It's like, I know you need him, but I just like, what if he just like cuts his hand off or something, like something awful? But he didn't. So obviously it makes him really tired. They stun Grogu and put him in chains, and then they basically just say, look, they tell the doctor, say, look, we've got the asset, and blah blah blah. And that's how the episode ends, with him just passed out, bound, and just it pulling out, and that's just a real sad sight to see of him just out, just binded and everything. But I am looking forward to have Mando and his team get him back. He has to get him back. Of course he does. Overall, guys, this was a real fun episode once again. I really enjoyed the action that we had, the showcase of Boba Fett, the tragedy, just like the shock factor of the Razor Crest going and Grogu being taken, seeing Gideon again, seeing these Death Trooper things that popping up. That was a lot of fun. Just everything was really, really good. Even seeing Slave One as well, that's a kind of character in itself. That was a lot of fun to see. Like I said, my only downside with this episode is the fact that Boba Fett just randomly popped up. You know what I mean? That's the only downside I've got here. Everything else about this was great. Good stories being told, fun character moments. And it's building up to a real big climax for this season of getting Grogu back and building the team to do it. So it's a good way to build to a finale. So that's what I thought of episode 6 of season 2 of The Mandalorian. What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell. If you want to find me on social media, any of these, all links are in the description, and I'll see you soon.